What if time management is actually the problem? I really have been thinking about this because when I was a new manager and working in a nonprofit many, many, many years ago, um, I was given a gift by my supervisor that I think has stuck with me for my whole life. They gave me a book that was called Time Management for Unmanageable People. And it was so refreshing and a big release for me to realize that my messy desk or the perception of my messy desk actually had its own structure, had its own way of me being able to identify where things were. And so I learned really early that time management is really about working with systems or structures that work for you. So for me, for example, when I have, or I'm looking down at my desk now, I've got papers everywhere piled up in different piles, but I know I can see all those pieces of the puzzle in relation to one another. And as soon as I put those into a file and put that in a file cabinet, even if it's got the name on it, it disappears for me. I can't see where the connection is, where the continuity and the synergy is between those two items. And so one of the things that I learned a long time ago was that unless I was going to end up with a file drawer full of the same file with the same name on, that it was much better for me to keep things in relation where I could see them, where I could say, okay, I'm working on this particular topic right now, and I know that all the things that I need for this are here. And I can see the questionnaire that's in relation to the assessment that I'm doing, or whatever it is. So I learned through those moments that time management for some of us can be a real stretch, right? It's really difficult for us to figure out how to manage our time effectively. But the reality is there's only 24 hours in a day. So you can only do and manage 24 hours. And probably of that, 8 of it you should be sleeping. And you should be taking some time for you. And you should be taking some time to refuel. And so another thing that I learned from a coach that I had was, and I was challenged really by this person, is to think about how did I manage my energy, not my time. And so what that meant was I needed to be really aware of what was coming up for me every day, each week, each month, each quarter. I also needed to be aware of like what were the ebbs and flows of the work that I did. So I was working in nonprofit. One of the things I know for sure that there's ebbs and flows, right? Summer is really busy because there's lots of summer programming and making sure that we're creating spaces for young people to be safe in and explore themselves and learn new things, right? So summer was a really high time of all on, lots of hours, making sure that things were running smoothly. And so I had to be prepared to do that, not on like the beginning of summer, but I had to start in the spring. And so I had to think about like how am I going to manage my energy so I have enough energy to do this? I also knew that at the end of every month, there were data points that needed to be reported. And so what energy did I need as a manager at that time to work with my staff to make sure that those things got done? And so I would have to take extra days of sleep. Not days, but like try to each day get a little bit more sleep, right? Um, so that I could wake up with some energy to be able to do something that required my brain, required me to move my brain, not my physicality, which is what summer was more all about. And I would say, like, over the years, I'm 63 years old now, or 63 years young, if you want to call it that. And so I know every single morning what I do is I look at what is on my plate. I usually do it the night before, but I also do it in the morning to refresh myself. And I think about what is the energy that is required of me for this day. And so some of that is maybe I have to have a difficult conversation with someone. So I don't plan anything if I can before that conversation because I want to be ready and grounded and have the right amount of energy to give it the attention, the heart of me that it needs, right? So, one of the things that when we are thinking about time management is that it is not making sure every single day you have a to-do list and you know every single hour of your day what you're going to be doing. It is more about getting in tune with what are the ebbs and flows of your day and week and month, and what are the places that you know you will need more energy, right? So if I know that there is a fundraiser coming up in the next week, I am going to have to make sure that I manage my energy both at work and at home. And so I need to make sure that I have transitions so that when I'm coming tired from work to home, there's some sort of transition that allows me then to come into the space at home and be ready and be able to be a connected person who's in a relationship. So for me, it's been a reminder this week as I felt sort of like a little bit out of sorts and things are moving like in places that I'm like, where did that go? Where did that time go? It's a reminder for me to get back to this idea of my energy and not just focused on what are the things that has to happen at certain times. I'm not managing my time, but I'm managing my energy. So this morning I went to work out. I fueled myself with protein. I'm ready to cook myself a huge lunch so that I'm ready for the rest of the evening where I'm going to be looking at creating a new workshop that I'm going to be doing on Thursday. So all that is part of creating a sort of audit of your energy. It's like, what do I need to get through tomorrow? What are the things that might come up that might trip me up? And so what am I going to do to energize myself? And what I've been doing today, I've been down in the basement working, and every 50 minutes I get up and I take a little walk. And that's my like get out, get some sun on my eyes because the sun is out, which is nice. And so I want to encourage you to think about like, how do you manage your energy rather than your time?